We're good. Yeah.
All right. Folks, this is Lisa Tomey and Maya Spikes are going to talk about their experiences writing for Medium and a little bit about what it is, how it benefits writers, and how to break in if you're interested. So I'm going to turn it over to you fine ladies.
Okay. All right. Well, kind of to start with, giving you a bit of background about Medium and where it came from. It was actually started back in 2012, which I was kind of surprised to learn when I was researching it the other day. Because I've been doing it for a couple of years, and probably about the same amount of time that you've been doing it, right, Maya? Yeah. I got introduced to it, I think, with Hannah. She was doing some writing on site to get on the bandwagon, too. So anyway, it started about 2012, and it's owned by a Medium Corporation. That's the name of the company that owns it. So it was started by Evan Williams, who actually was the co-founder of Twitter and Blogger. And so if anybody's done blogging for any number of years, they know what Blogger is. It's like a pretty major blogging platform. And so it just looked at as another avenue of being able to blog and share information. And basically to what Medium is really about, it is a platform, another platform for people who like to blog. You can be as light or as controversial as you want to be. You can go from poetry to politics. You can cover about anything there is to cover. And the way it works is that when you want to become a part of Medium and you want to post on Medium, it doesn't cost you anything to post a story on Medium. You just go and you sign up. I sign up through my Google account. They have about 4 different accounts you can go through. Just get people to read your stuff. Now, the way to become a member where you actually get some money for your work, and it's not like an income, but it is an income. I'll get that in a minute. But is you pay $5 to become a member of the partnership program. And what that does is you can set up what's called a paywall. And when you're, if you choose, you can choose whether to have it go for free to everybody who is a free subscriber, or you can have it on your paywall, which are those people who are paid subscribers. And then you can get a little bit of money back based on impressions and all this fancy techno stuff that I have no understanding about. But I do know this. I know that if I pay my $5 a month and I post once or twice that month on Medium, I'm going to get my $5 back. But I'm happy. I've had some months where I've gotten a lot more than $5 back, and I'm even happier. So over the years average, I pay for my membership. It just depends on how ambitious I get about it. When I first started with Medium, I was doing the free route, and then I decided really quickly that it would be better to do the paid route and start trying to make some money on the stories. And you do have to do, by the way, a tax form, because that is income. For keep in mind, your $5 payment every month is also a deduction from income. So, but you do get a 1099 for that. Where you end your tax year, so you do have to file the extra tax. So there are some people that make a pretty good amount of money, and I think that the government's caught on to that. So, guess what? You got to fill out a form now. So you got to be willing to do that. But anyway, some reasons to use Medium, kind of just brainstorm some ideas. Like I said, to showcase your blog, and I just found out the other day, and I tested it out, that I can take my regular blog and actually put it on Medium. I can upload it to Medium. The only thing I had to change was to use one of their graphics on there, because I use free graphics all the time. And I just chose some of their free graphics that they have in this library and attached that to my blog. And so my blog is now has more circulation because now it's on Medium. So I'm pretty excited about that. So in the future, my blog posts are going to make it on Medium as well. So I get more exposure. And with Maya talk, she's going to explain to you why you want that exposure. I have been curated, which Maya's going to talk about as well. So I'm not going to go into any more depth on that part of it. It's a good way to test your writing skills. Say you're brainstorming an idea and you want to kind of test the waters and see how people are going to respond to it. It's a great way to test things out. You're probably not going to put an article on there that you would sell to a magazine as a freelancer. For common sense, I mean, if you are going to be able to write something for a magazine and get paid for it, why would you put it on Medium and maybe get paid for it? price for your article. But it is a good way to showcase your work. I've used some of my Medium posts as writing samples, and I've had good responses to that. Also, you know, but like I say, things that don't come under freelance, writing ideas. We have a lot of articles under writing ideas. And when you post, you get 5 choices of, what's the word for it?
Categories.
What's that?
Categories.
Tags, yeah. So you choose 5 tags that you can put on that, and that'll get it circulating too, that people are interested in those topics. So I read a lot of poetry, and so I post a lot on there for Poetry Month. I was doing something, you know, every day, and getting a lot of exposure, a lot of good feedback on that. And I actually applied for it and was accepted the P.S. I Love You, which initially was, you know, eating up my poetry like crazy, but now they've gotten kind of picky, and now they want stories about people and life and experiences and all of that kind of stuff. So I'm going to post on there. It has to be something like that, and not my poetry anymore. So now I just put my poetry out there just on my own. I also belong to what's called the Weekly Knob, which is every week we get a random prompt that we write to, and then it gets posted, and we have people that vote on the top 3 and all of that. So I haven't done that one for a while, and the reason I quit doing it, and this is about reading the fine print, is to, they don't really like you pulling stuff off of there once you put it up there. You know, they don't own it, but they don't really want you taking the stuff down. I'm going to be taking all of my stuff down from there because I want to do some work with it and put it into a book. So, you know, I'm going to probably lose my weekly novel appearances and that. But anyway, that's kind of about how it works. I'm trying to think with what else there is. You know, but just some people go right straight to Medium and write, you know, stuff just like they're writing into a blog, and some people, you know, post blog stuff on Medium. Some people post Medium stuff through the blogs. So that's kind of how that works. Now I'm going to turn it over to Maya, and she's going to talk about it.
Sure. I'm going to talk a little bit more about sort of the specific aspects of Medium, and I want to first start by talking about publications. So, generally speaking, with Medium, you can simply write a blog post. They call them stories. Write a blog post and just post it on the website, and you know, tell everybody at TAF, tell all your friends on Facebook and Twitter, hey, I just wrote this story for Medium, go check it out. Or you can submit that story to a publication. And the way publications is, just think of it as basically a magazine or a newsstand with hundreds of magazines and newspapers on it. Medium kind of works the same way. It hosts a lot of different publications, and even traditionally print publications have an online presence through Medium, such as The Atlantic has basically the online version of part of their magazine on Medium. And you don't have to be as big as The Atlantic to have a publication. You can, in fact, even start your own publication, which is basically your own magazine on any topic. Like Lisa was saying, you can start that about poetry, and it can be a collection of your own poetry, or you can even ask and say, I'm accepting poetry submissions for this publication. You can do that, or whatever topic you want that magazine to cover. And it doesn't even have to be one specific topic. It can be a couple different topics, and you just have kind of a section, almost like how a lot of magazines, they'll have different sections in the magazine. You can also do that with publication. So the question becomes, why would you submit your story to a publication rather than posting it yourself? And that's because of exposure. You get more people, more readers looking at your story. And the good thing about that is that you can still market as a behind the paywall or as a paid story, and any money that is generated from that story goes to you, not the publication. So, so it's kind of a extra bang for your buck, pardon the Because, of course, more readers, more people engaging with your story tends to lend itself to you earning at least a little bit more money off of that story compared to just simply posting it yourself. So that's the main reason to submit to a publication. And one specific thing I wanted to get into is, as far as posting stories, the great thing about Medium is I think it works particularly well for people who want to write thought pieces. Again, on any topic you wish. Thought pieces about trends going on in your career or your industry that you're noticing. And that's tough. Those types of pieces are tougher. That's a tougher sell to the traditional print magazines. I know that, I don't know if that's been your experience, but that's definitely been my experience. Usually if I'm querying a traditional magazine, I have to sell it. I have to say, I think this specific idea will help your readers who meet this specific demographic, and it has to be very direct. The magazine probably doesn't care, how I feel about the economy or how I feel about politics. You have to be more direct. So I think that's a great opportunity especially for nonfiction writers who want to do that specific type of writing. So with publication, the way that works, and you can simply go into the search box on Medium and type in politics, and it'll even suggest a couple publications that cover that topic. And once you see a publication that you like, querying them kind of works the same way as querying a traditional magazine. You do want to read a couple articles from that publication, make sure that, the stories that they're promoting, that's kind of the same style of writing you have, or same style of writing you're comfortable with. So you want to do that. And then you want to kind of follow their rules for reaching out to them. And most publications will have an About Us or Accepting Submissions tab or page or section on their publication, and they'll just sort of list the rules. We like stories that are at least 300 words or at least 500 words. We like stories that deal with this topic. And, and they'll kind of list their guidelines and say, now that you've read all this, if you have a story that you think would be a good fit, click here or email here, and we'll review that story. So once you're accepted as a writer by that publication, and they'll let you know. It usually takes, it can take anywhere from a week to even a couple weeks, but it's usually a quicker turnaround if they're accepting accepting new writers than it is with the traditional magazine. So once that happens, you can simply write your story, and there is a section after you're done with your story or as you're writing your story saying, hey, would you like to submit this to a publication? And you can simply hit that, and you'll submit basically a draft to them. Publications editor looks at it, reviews it, might send you a note or an email saying, hey, can you talk more about this? Or, hey, we're going to tweak this. Is that okay? Or they might not send anything. They might just simply publish what you submitted. And the good thing about that is that the turnaround on that is also a lot quicker too. Most publications, once you submit something to them, if they accept it, they usually accept it within about 7 business days, sometimes quicker. So, and again, the good thing about that is that you can see that those earnings on your Medium account quicker, saying, hey, we saw that this was published, this is how well the story did, so you'll be getting paid X amount of dollars at the end of the month for that story. So, yeah, definitely want to consider working with a publication if you're into that sort of thing. So that's basically how publications work. I always say I write about writing, so one of my favorite publications to write for is the Writing Cooperative. I also write for another publication called Publish Us. If you've heard about P.S. I Love You, I like reading their stuff. I haven't submitted anything to them. I noticed they tend to be more about relationship focused. So I kind of like reading about other people's drama. Haven't been brave enough to submit my own drama yet to that publication. But yeah, there are at least hundreds, probably thousands by now, of publications. And it doesn't have to be like a huge publication, because by simply submitting even to a smaller publication, that's still at least a small group or larger group of people who you may not otherwise be able to get in front of.
Something for every genre.
So yeah, something for every genre, something for every category. So that's basically how publications work. And if you're lucky, you can be what is called curated. And I know Lisa mentioned being curated. I've been curated a couple times. And curation is extra money. I'm just going to be very upfront about that. It's extra money. And basically what it means to be curated is it's basically Medium's way of actively promoting your story. Because usually what happens when you're not curated is you post your story on Medium and that's it. How it gets promoted is completely up to you. You're the one that has to post that link on your Facebook page or on your Twitter, or tell your coworkers who are like, we get it, you're a writer on Medium, can we just get started? can you just get started processing these reports? We get it. That's all up to you. But when you're curated, that's basically Medium's way of saying, hey, we saw the story you did, really like it, so we're going to help you promote this story. We're going to send this out to our email list. They have thousands of email subscribers. It's like, we think our subscribers who particularly subscribe to our productivity or politics email list, we think our more political subscribers would like this. We're going to just basically send out an email blast saying, hey, this is one of our top stories for today. You should check it out. And of course, by them doing that, that's just more writers coming to that story, looking at it. Most of them will like what you've read. Some of them won't, and that's okay too. But yeah, again, because more people are reading your work, again, that's just another way to earn a little bit of extra money again from the story. And how that happens is Medium does have a small group of reviewers who, bless their hearts, are probably reading thousands of stories every day that come through the Medium website. They don't always get to read all of them because there's so many stories coming in. But they try to review as many stories as they can, and they're like, this is a pretty good story about pop culture. We should curate this. We should get, send this out to our email list. Our, pop culture geeks will like this story. So that's how that works. They do have a small group of reviewers. They will definitely let you know. They'll send an email to you specifically saying, hey, we noticed the story that you wrote, and that'll be curated, and you should see that. And kind of how that appears is, the story appears as normal, but at the top, I think it's if you're looking at the screen, I think it's the top left corner. It'll just have like a little topic. It'll say music or politics or pop culture or poetry at the top, and that kind of clues you in that your story is now officially curated for a lot more people to see. So, general guidelines. Medium's very coy about their curation guidelines. They sound like not even magazine writing 101, but they're like, make sure there are as few grammatical errors as possible, have a good headline, things like that. But it is still worth, they do have on their help page, you know, curation guidelines. It is still worth checking that out just to kind of make sure you're checking those boxes. And even if you do meet all those guidelines, still not a guarantee that you'll be curated. Writing is very subjective, as we all know. Even nonfiction writing can be very subjective, so it just does depend on the person in that review group, you know, who's reading your story and kind of how they respond to that story. That is the subjective part of being curated. So, and a note about curation, because I did the irony is I ended up writing a medium story about curation called Stop Worrying About Being Curated, Just Stop It Now. Was basically the headline for that story, just stop it now. And I did that because it's like, I get it. You know, yes, it's great to be curated. Yes, you want as many readers reading your story as possible. Yes, you want to make as much money as possible. I get all of that. But I just saw, because I'm a part of a couple of Facebook-based writers groups, I just saw a lot of hand-wringing about that. Like, oh, I didn't get curated. Does this mean my story sucks? Do I suck as a writer? And people just going down a complete shame spiral. So I was like, okay, let's just put the brakes on all of this now and say, yes, curation's a noble goal to have, but it is not the be-all and end-all of your writing career. You still need to keep the bigger picture in mind, because this is something you want to do. You should be having some sense of fun writing. So don't let this, you know, steal your enjoyment of writing. Just, you know, keep it as a goal in the back of your mind, saying, hey, I did the best work I could with this topic. I'm just going to put it out there, and, you know, let whatever happens, or as the millennials like to say, it's above me now. It's above me now, so I'm just going to let whatever happens. So I think that's a healthier attitude to have towards curation, much like healthy attitude to have towards getting that first published article in a traditional magazine. So that's about all I have for my part about publications and curation. So Lisa, I didn't know if you wanted to.
As you were talking, I remembered a couple things that I forgot to bring up. And one of them is there's an opportunity for artists to submit, like if you were a good graphic art or anything like that, you can submit your work to Medium to be used in people's stories, get you out there a little bit more. There are some cartoonists who put their original cartoons on there as part of their posts. So there's that, you know, as well.
Can you give us an idea what the circulation is? Like when you post something, is there a lot of opportunity for people to comment?
Yes, so I know they're easily in the tens of thousands.
Oh, yeah. The opportunity to comment is just boundless, really.
Right.
The fact that
Tens of thousands of readers who are going into different, you know, sections of Medium kind of overall. So the opportunity of, you know, a lot of people reading your work, and it's very, well, I wouldn't say very easy, but it is common to get 1,000 or thousands of people reading your article, and then just from there, it's just a question of how many of those people actually read the whole article. How many of those people, what they call applaud for that article, or basically indicate that they like the article, how many people comment, and readers can highlight certain phrases or sentences in the article. And Medium likes that. Medium likes to see their readers highlighting.
I think highlight, share it on Twitter.
Yeah, and tweet what they highlighted, and, you know, kind of send out a tweet saying, yes, all of this, you know, to their Twitter followers, or or this article is crazy, this writer's crazy, but I'm going to tweet about it anyway and let all of you know so you can also read it and agree with me that this writer's totally crazy.
Do they have strict rules? If I'm trying to promote a cause, and there's a GoFundMe attached, there's no promotion of anything to deal with money, is there?
Right. So specifically how that would work is you could still write that article and post it on Medium. You would have to do it as a free post. It couldn't be a paid article since it is promoting a cause. And that's the thing. A lot of authors use it to promote books that they have coming up. A lot of business owners will use Medium to promote a certain product or service or freelance service that they provide. So Medium is totally okay with you promoting whatever you want to promote. You just have to mark it as a free article. If you mark it as a paid article, it can't be actively promoting that. But for our bloggers out here who have email lists, with the paid article, you can do what they call a soft call of action, saying something, for example, hey, did you like this article? Click here to keep in touch. And that can send that person basically to your own email. So you can do that with a paid article. But outside of promoting, basically doing a soft promotion for like a reader to get on your email list, you can't promote anything with paid articles. You just have to make it free article.
That's the thing I had to do with my blog posts. I had to realize I had to go back and before they even caught me at it and kick out my affiliate marketing stuff.
Yeah.
Put it back up there, They get in trouble with the media thing.
Do the articles have a long lifespan, or do they kind of flare quickly then disappear?
It does tend to flare quickly and disappear. Like there'll be like a rush of readers reading, laughing for your article, basically interacting with your article. That usually happens within that first week of that article, and then the article's kind of done. The best performing Medium story I had, it basically, like first, it did really well, and I made a decent amount of money off that article itself, but then like every month for like a year, that article basically paid for my Medium membership because people kept coming back, kept going, more people kept reading it and seeing that article. Like I said, that's rare. That's only happened with like one article for me, but usually I would say most of the activity you're going to see on that article usually happens within that first week. And it may trickle out to like the second or third week after that.
The one that they curated of Violence on Suicide, I have actually written several months back, so I was surprised when just a couple months ago they came to me curating that. But it was a topic that had been coming back up again. It's something that kind of goes in waves, And
I noticed with some of, I haven't been on there in a while, but I notice I'm still getting updates of the people have been reading. So mine kind of ebb and flow. Like when I first put my menopause comic article on there, that really took off, and then it kind of ebbed out for a while, and it still kind of ebbs and flows, and that's been over a year now with that one. I have a couple others that do that as well. So just because it's written, it's not necessarily gone. People will go back to it and read it. If they like your stuff, they'll search for other things.
I repost mine too. I've shared on Facebook or Twitter. Maybe a year ago I did it, but I'll just, it's time for me to share this again. I get some more attention on it.
You say you share a link to it?
I just share it to Twitter.
No, but where do you share it?
My article that I
Your
put
whole
on
article.
Medium.
So a link to your article? That's
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, and I should note that even with a paid article, you can still share the link to that paid article with all your friends. They have something called a friend link. And so even your grandma, who probably isn't an active blogger on Medium, can access that specific article and read it for free. does not have to be a paying media member to read that article, even though it's technically a paid article because you sent that friend link.
But they can't clap on it.
Yeah.
I've had people come back, I wanted to clap on your article, but I couldn't. I'm doing Medium.
Thank you for reading.
Thank you for reading.
When you're sharing your links, are you sharing the actual URL, or are you embedding, or are you doing a bit.ly? What do you find is better when you're trying to share?
Yes, yes, and yes.
Okay.
So usually I'm sharing the link to the URL.
Actual URL, okay.
www.medium. Stop worrying about being correct. Usually I'm sharing that link. For Twitter, because I do like to shorten my links, sometimes I will use Bitly, basically submit the URL to Bitly, let Bitly do its magic and make it a nice short, succinct link on Twitter. Yeah.
So Lisa, you talked a little bit about, I think it was when you were talking about the weekly nod. You were going to take some of your work down because you wanted to use it
So I'm
somewhere
gonna
else.
put it in a book.
So, okay, so that brings me to the question of rights. Who owns the rights to your work once it's on Medium? Curated
You
or
still
not?
own the rights
You
to
do.
your
Used to,
own
they,
work.
Yeah.
it's not like some other magazine, like
Yeah.
print
You
magazines
own
where you.
the rights. It's just, and it's different from publication to publication, but some publications, they just don't like it when you take your work off. It's like, hey, we're gonna use that to, give our readers, at least one more story to read. Like I said, sometimes they don't like that. But some publications kind of have a philosophy of, just communicate with us, just stay in contact with us, and reach out and say, hey, I'm working on a book. I'm gonna have to take this down so I can use this for my book. And some of those publications, especially if they're publications that are led by other writers and authors who get it, they're like, yeah, congratulations, hope the book goes well, all the best, do what you need to do. But it does depend on publication.
Do they only accept exclusive work? Like, in other words, if you.
Publications do like to have, just like print publications, do like it and strongly prefer it if it's basically a new work. And with the understanding that if they publish it, that is the first place that story or blog post will appear on it. And then if you want to basically share a link, because I've seen a lot of bloggers do that. Hey, check out my latest blog post with P.S. I love you. And they'll maybe even use a different picture, basically just feature the headline, maybe like that first paragraph, and then it says click here and takes you to that publication's link with the story.
When you submit an article and it's published, do you get paid a set amount, or do you
Maya, would you repeat the question, please?
So the question was, when you submit an article and it gets published, do you get paid a set amount, or is it based on per word or per some other measurement? And Medium's also very coy about this too, about how they pay you. So they use they call an algorithm, basically saying, we're not going to tell you exactly the measurements we're using to pay you for this article. But there's a general understanding that the more readers are actively engaging with your work, the higher your payment will be. So if there aren't a lot of people clapping for it, and clapping is kind of seen as the easiest or lowest form of engagement, not a lot of people are even clapping for it, they probably have a lower payment amount for that specific article versus an article that gets 100 claps or hundreds of claps. Medium really likes to see comments, even if it's just a handful of comments. They like, that's kind of an indicator to them that, okay, people, this is striking a nerve, good or bad, with with our audience, is getting people either riled up like, yay, we agree, or getting people riled up like, no, we disagree. They like, either way, they're good, as long as they see comments. And they also like it when people are highlighting your article, because that means that certain phrases or sentences are resonating readers as well. So like I said, they're very coy. They don't, say, hey, it's 25 cents per clap or anything like that. I'd be okay with 10.
I'd be grand with that.
I'd be okay
Very
with
well, actually.
New story. Medium needs to start paying 25 cents per clap. And I'll probably get an email from you. Just like a bunch of laughing emojis.
Article waiting to be written.
Yeah. But yeah, like I said, they're kind of coy about that. But you can generally assume that the more, I would say, the more claps, comments, and highlights that you're getting, the more.
Rebecca?
So is there a way for people to like follow you on Medium, like you follow somebody on Facebook or whatever, to keep track of what you're writing?
That's right. Well, people can follow you on there, you can follow other people. And word of caution that if you're on there, just because somebody follows you, that doesn't necessarily mean you want to follow them. Take a look at what they've done. If you've got somebody that's following 2,000 people and they have 5 followers, start looking to see what they've done. Sometimes I have to block people because just like any other social media, you get some weirdos out there and they don't want to do stuff. So I check that list on a regular basis.
And with every blog post that you read on Medium, there is a follow button. Follow that writer. If you're reading a Medium story that's under a publication, there's also a follow button for the publication. Follow the publication as well. So, yeah. Mark?
I didn't know if you were aware, but there are a few sites that I go to every morning just to kind of get through my coffee and get into the day. And one of them is Dig, D-I-G-G.
Yep.
And Dig's an aggregator site that goes, I guess, crawls the web and tries to find what it considers to be the best stuff that's been posted the day before. And a lot of stuff from Medium pops up there. And so that's probably another way that you can get a lot more eyeballs,
Yes,
for your stuff.
definitely.
I also am on Quora, which is a site where people come in and ask questions, and hopefully you'll get an expert. There are a lot of people that are signed up to answer stuff. Some are experts and some aren't, but it's very interesting to hear what people have to say. And a lot of people, interestingly enough to me, are leaving Quora for Medium because Quora doesn't pay, and Medium does. And so even people who have a lot of expertise on things, who have been giving this away, are going, wait a minute, I could actually get a few bucks for it, and are going over to Medium. So it seems like it's a growing concern.
Yeah, I can see that, definitely, and yeah, it is amazing the expertise of a lot of the writers on Medium have, because you can be a new writer, aspiring writer. I hate that term, aspiring. Anyway, I don't think I've done a stop sending the any word blog. Yeah, I know. So yeah, look out for that stop the A-word block. Please cloud the comment and all that good stuff. And that's now that I say that, that does remind me about promoting. If you're doing a free Medium story, you can say at the end, please clap and comment if you liked the story. You cannot do that with a paid post. You can't specifically ask for claps or comments with a paid post.
Question. Do you think about editing, or do they edit?
No. You are on your own for editing. Like I said, 90% of the stuff I read is great and could totally be published in a traditional newspaper or print magazine. But every now and then you see stuff and you're like, hey, they're not really big on it. It's not a thing for them. So you're totally on your own. And with a publication, even when you're sending a draft to a publication, they basically want it to be clean copy. You know, with as few grammar mistakes as possible. And of course, if they notice something on there, and they'll just go ahead and fix it. Or if they think the editor thinks that it's going to change, might significantly change that sentence or that paragraph or even the whole story, that's when they'll send you a note saying, hey, we noticed that these sentences weren't quite reading right, or are you sure that that the Revolutionary War soldiers stormed an airport? Are you sure that's a thing? We just wanted to double check that with you and find out where your sources came from on that. So they will get back in touch with you about anything major like that, but pretty much on your own with editing and checking the facts.
Is it more like a nonfiction type blog post type thing, or could you be doing short fiction?
You can't do both. I have seen a lot of commentary that Medium seems to have an unintentional bias toward nonfiction work. Nonfiction work tends to get more readily curated by the reviewers, and Medium is slowly coming around to that as far as curation is concerned. But yeah, you can post your fiction work onto Medium, and there are some publications that accept fiction work as well.
Try to do as much work of fiction that is curated.
Yeah. Like I said, they're coming around.
Anything and everything.
Any other questions? Guys, thank you so much. This was awesome.
Thank you.